We all kind of take for granted that English is a big deal. But have you ever really stopped to think about how that happened? How did this one language from a tiny little island become the most powerful language on Earth?
All right, so let's get right into it. How did this happen? Well, the answer isn't just about words and grammar. It's this incredible story about history, about power, and about how our world got so connected. Okay, let's wind the clock back, way, way back, about 1500 years ago. Our story starts here with this first wave. And back then, English, well, it was basically a nobody, just one of many local languages, and believe me, it was not an important one. I mean, you had these giants, right? Latin, Greek, Chinese. These were the languages of empires, of philosophy, of power. And English, it was just, a simple language for a few small groups of people. Nobody, and I mean nobody, would have bet on it becoming what it is today. So what changed? This is where things really start to pick up. This first wave was all about the British Empire. By the 1600s, Britain was becoming a real power, and they had a secret weapon, the best navy in the world. They sailed everywhere, setting up colonies all across the globe. And wherever the British flag went, the English language went with it. It was like a package deal. So the British Empire planted the seeds, no doubt about it. But that alone wasn't enough to make English the truly dominant global language. For that, we need to look at the next crucial chapter, the second wave. And this one starts right after a huge world-shattering war. Okay, picture the world in 1945. Europe is, well, it's in ruins. Cities are flattened, economies are broken, but across the Atlantic, there's one country that's not only standing, but is stronger than ever. Its land is untouched, its factories are booming, and that country, of course, is the United States. And this is the key moment. This is when the torch was passed. The rise of the United States kicked off a second, even more powerful wave of English dominance. As America started to lead the world in pretty much everything, its language just naturally came along for the ride. So, how exactly did that happen? What made American influence so powerful? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was actually a bunch of really powerful forces all working together. You can think of them as these giant pillars that hold up English's global status. Let's break them down. We've got 5 main pillars here: money, culture, technology, science, and knowledge, and politics. Each one played a huge role in making English absolutely essential. Okay, pillar number 1, money. This one's a biggie. After World War II, the US dollar became the world's go-to currency. So if you're trading oil, doing international banking, or running a global company, you're doing it in dollars. And that meant, pretty quickly, English became the language of business. Period. All right, next up, culture. This is where English went from being the language of business to the language of, well, fun. Hollywood movies, American pop music, TV shows, they were everywhere. People all over the world were watching American films and listening to American songs, learning English without even trying. And then, technology. Wow, this one is huge. The internet itself was basically born in the United States, and its foundational language was English. All the early programming languages, the big tech companies, it was all happening in English. So it's no surprise that even today, more than half of the entire internet is in English. It is the language of our digital world. And that brings us to our final pillars, science and knowledge. All the top scientific papers, the most important research, Mackle breakthroughs, they're published in English first. Want to be on the cutting edge of, well, anything? You pretty much have to speak English. So, that's how we got here. But that brings up a really big question, right? With the world changing so fast, is English going to rule forever? Or is something else on the horizon? Well, if you just look at the numbers, English isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Right now, a staggering 1.5 billion people are actively learning it. That's almost 20% of the entire world's population. The demand just keeps getting bigger every year. But what about other languages? You hear a lot about Mandarin, for example. It has way more native speakers, but here's the thing. It's incredibly hard for most people to learn, and it's not really the language of global business yet. So when it comes to a truly global language, English is still by far the top dog. Okay, but what about AI translation? These tools are getting crazy good, right? But are they going to replace English? Probably not. Think about a really important business negotiation. You need nuance, you need trust, you need that direct human connection. And for that, a shared language is still king.
All right, so we've looked at the past, we've peeked into the future, but let's bring this all back home. Let's make it personal. Why does any of this actually matter to you? Because here's the bottom line. In our world today, English is so much more than just a language. It's a tool. It's about opportunity. In many ways, it's about freedom. It's the key that can unlock a completely different future.
I mean, think about it in 3 simple ways. 1, it can unlock better jobs at big multinational companies. 2, you can travel the world without fear and communicate pretty much anywhere. And 3, you get access to a world of knowledge. The best books, the top universities, the most useful courses online, so much of it is in English. It really is a game-changing scale. So I want to leave you with this final thought. As our world gets more and more connected, what does it really mean? The good and the bad, when one single language becomes the main tool we all use to connect across our many diverse cultures.